Toyota, the king of hybrids, seems to be having a bit of a victory lap and enjoying its "I told you so" moment. Why? Because whispers are spreading about the limitations of electric vehicles. You know, that pesky range anxiety and the charging station struggle? Did electric cars turn out to be all flash and no substance? Was Toyota just playing it smart all along, or did they foresee challenges the rest of the industry missed? Let's investigate the reasons, explore why Toyota might be correct, and see if hybrids are the more reliable option for the average driver. Number 6. EVs are not the ultimate solution. Toyota doesn't view all electric vehicles as the sole solution to achieving its goal of becoming carbon neutral. According to Jim Adler, the founding managing director of Toyota Ventures, the company's venture capital unit, they see electric vehicles as just one piece of the puzzle. In the distant future, I'm not investing assuming that battery electrics are 100% of the market. I just don't see it, Adler commented. He believes the market will remain diverse, with various types of vehicles coexisting. Toyota anticipates that different regions around the globe will embrace electric vehicles at different rates. Available energy sources, infrastructure development, and access to raw materials for battery production will influence this adoption. Beyond their investments in hybrid and plug-in electric vehicles, Toyota has made significant commitments to hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. It includes the development of a second generation of its Mirai model. Hydrogen fuel cell-powered vehicles function similarly to battery electric vehicles, but derive their power from hydrogen and oxygen, emitting only water vapor as a byproduct. They can be refueled quickly using a nozzle, similar to traditional gas and diesel vehicles. According to Toyota executives, combining battery electric vehicles, fuel cell vehicles, and plug-in hybrids will be crucial in reducing emissions. However, they acknowledge that these technologies face common challenges, such as high costs, inadequate infrastructure, and limited consumer awareness. In addition to electric and hydrogen-powered vehicles, Toyota is exploring alternative solutions such as e-fuels. These fuels are considered climate neutral and can replace gasoline in non-electric cars. Number 5. The U.S. government changed the whole scenario. Around a year ago, the EPA dropped a bombshell. They wanted 67% of all shiny new cars on the road to be electric by 2032. Pretty bold? Well, not everyone was cheering. Those big American car companies, which had already spent a fortune on electric rides and took a real hit, weren't exactly doing cartwheels over this new idea. And let's not even start on the UAW. They were sweating bullets, fearing massive job losses if gas guzzlers got the boot. Consumers weren't exactly doing backflips over electric cars either. High price tags, iffy reliability, and a serious lack of charging spots had plenty of people saying, "Thanks, but no thanks." It was like switching lanes without knowing how to handle a stick shift. But the whole plan was as shaky as building a house on sand. So, zip forward to last month, and the EPA rolled out a new, more down-to-earth plan. Instead of shooting for the moon, they dialed it back a notch, predicting that electric cars would only snatch up about a third of the new car scene by 2032. This fresh plan also takes the heat off car makers, cutting them slack on those hefty fines and giving them the nod to keep pumping out those trusty old gas guzzlers. And let's not forget about those heavy-duty pickups. They're a real lifeline for American automakers. Can't just shove them to the side. Number 4. A new EV approach. Lately, there's been quite a stir about a fresh approach to electric cars, all about putting customers and dealers front and center, leaving regulators to take a back seat. You see, the whole rush towards electric vehicles hit a snag, mainly because governments were pushing them without stopping to hear what people really wanted. Consumers were left in a bind, expected to shell out big bucks for electric rides without much to sweeten the deal. To add insult to injury, this push for electric cars ended up hiking up the prices of good old gas-powered cars too. Car companies found themselves scrambling for cash to fund all these new electric ventures, only to realize that the returns weren't quite what they expected. Recent reports suggest that car manufacturers are taking a hit of about $6,000 on every electric car they sell. But guess who wasn't playing that risky game? None other than Toyota. They've been singing the same song for a while, making it clear that they'd rather deal with green credits and fines than throw good money after bad. Toyota's electric car strategy involves tuning in to what customers and dealers want rather than blindly following rules. And you know what? It's paying off big time. While other car companies were sweating bullets and losing big bucks on risky electric car bets, Toyota was chilling out and watching the show. The government is finally starting to take a step back from its aggressive electric car plans. After seeing big players like Ford and GM stumble and delay their electric car initiatives, they realized it might be time to ease up. And where does this leave Toyota? Well, they're sitting pretty with a knowing grin on their faces. Number 3. Costs and materials. Electric vehicles, EVs, rely heavily on rare earth elements like lithium, cobalt, and nickel for their batteries. Demand for these materials is skyrocketing, but supply is struggling. This imbalance is driving up costs significantly. Extracting and processing these rare earth elements is complex and often environmentally impactful, adding another layer to the cost burden. Toyota has already anticipated the challenges of EV materials and infrastructure, so it has chosen a more sustainable and cost-effective path with hybrids. They knew costs play a significant role in the electric vehicle (EV) market, and opting for middle ground options often comes with more wallet-friendly price tags. Take, for instance, the 2022 Toyota Prius Hybrid, which boasts an impressive EPA rating of up to 56 mpg combined and starts at approximately $25,000. That's a hefty $17,000 less than Toyota's all-electric bZ4X crossover. The batteries powering these vehicles are also a hefty investment, and their prices keep climbing due to inflation and the soaring demand for materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel, which are crucial for producing battery cells. During the pandemic, raw material costs for electric vehicles skyrocketed, more than doubling, as reported by consulting firm AlixPartners. Given this scenario, Toyota's hybrid strategy emerges as somewhat of an economic choice. Toyota argues that these minerals are not enough to meet the soaring demand. According to Pratt, among other experts, the next decade or so will witness significant bottlenecks in lithium supply globally. The number of mines required to meet this demand is mind-boggling. Additionally, there's a looming bottleneck in battery-grade nickel production, exacerbated by the rapid surge in demand. The Metals Company, a Canadian-based startup, paints a grim picture, estimating a glaring insufficiency in producing battery-grade nickel, cobalt, and manganese sulfate to meet U.S. EV targets by 2030. Even with optimistic forecasts, including all projected nickel sulfate production through 2030 from the U.S. and free trade agreement countries, the supply would fall short of meeting automakers' EV targets by that time, supplying less than 60% of the needed demand. Number 2. Toyota's continuous growth. Now, don't get it twisted. The green agenda is noble and all, but when it comes down to it, it's all about those juicy profits. And in sustainability, automakers need strategies that deliver. And let's face it, rapid electrification isn't quite hitting the bullseye. Take a gander at American heavyweights like GM and Ford. They got directly into the electric vehicle scene, splurging billions on new tech, only to find themselves licking their wounds. Ford took a $5 billion hit on EVs in 2023 alone, slamming the brakes on production of their F-150 Lightning and postponing a hefty $12 billion investment for the year. And GM? They had to kick the launch of their all-electric Silverado and Sierra trucks down the road to 2025. Meanwhile, Toyota kicked back, chuckling to the bank. Instead of tossing money at fledgling EV tech, they stuck to their guns and focused on what they do best: hybrids. And boy, did it pay off. They sold 11.2 million cars last year, with hybrids leading the pack. Unlike EVs, hybrids are a cash cow for Toyota, bringing in the big bucks and then some. Toyota's earnings for the 9 months from April to the end of 2023 soared to a jaw-dropping $27 billion. That's nearly double what they raked in during the same stretch in 2022. Just to put things in perspective, Tesla, the big cheese in the EV world, saw its profits climb by a modest 19% last year, totaling $15 billion. Number 1. Diversifying is a must. Toyota's approach is all about spreading its bets. It does not say no to electric cars, but it does not put all its eggs in that basket either. Instead, it says, hey, let's not rush into things. Let's give people options. You know, Akio Toyoda, the big boss at Toyota, he's pretty adamant about this. He thinks going fully electric is a bit of a stretch. He's betting that electric cars will only be a part of the picture, maybe making up around a third of all cars sold worldwide. So, Toyota's pumping serious cash into other tech, too. They've got this cool hydrogen fuel cell car in the works, and get this, they're even tinkering with an internal combustion engine that runs on hydrogen. Do you think Toyota made the right decision not to enter the EV industry altogether? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe.